upcoming contestants. When firstly Toastmaster Tejasvi talked about education session on evaluation, I told how long you are expecting a session. She said, you don't worry about time. I think that's why we had tag reports before itself. No need of time clocking. But anyway, timer, where do I have it? Yeah, timer, please show me. Sure. Green, yeah. You know the timings, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so what is evaluation according to you? I'll start from there. And I'll try to have it a bit interactive because the more I speak, people feel I speak for 20 minutes, only 1 minute it makes sense. So I'm having it interactive so that things are totally engaging. So what is evaluation to you? In general, no need about those marks. In general, what is evaluation?
Assessing. Third party assessing.
Third party, okay. Feedback, someone will feedback, okay. Okay, now quickly, I'll just ask a 10-second activity. Think of one movie which you like the most. You're all movie watchers, right? Yeah. Think of one movie which you like the most. I'll give 10 seconds. If you're not having a movie, I'm going to ask what movie. Okay, time's up. Let's hear from some people. Sir, what is your favorite movie? Yeah, Gilly. Okay. Anyone else? Ponniyin Selvan. Part 1, Part 2? Part 2. Okay. Shawshank Redemption. Okay. Sir?
Avation movie.
Videography?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Okay. Godfather. Again, Part 1, 2, 3. There are so many parts. Part 1. Okay. Rocky 3. Okay. Super. So we had a mix of all things, right? So now I'll put you on spot. In this movie, tell me one thing which you did not like.
Unrealistic.
Which movie is it?
Gilly.
Why it's unrealistic? Because semi-final she was not part. Final she is correct. Understood.
Almost I like everything, but some characterization they may change. Valorine expectation was very high compared to that. It was not.
I think one AD character is still waiting for money. Sir, what about you, sir?
I liked everything.
Everything, no.
I didn't see the movie as an evaluator. As a fan, I saw it.
Luckily, K.S. Raghav is not here. Okay, the reason why I was asking this question is, if you see the actors who played all these roles, Abhay Shanmughi is played by Kamal Haasan, right? And Gilly is played by Thalapathy Vijay, and the multicast things were Ponniyin Selvan. And if you see movies like Pursuit of Happiness, there are a lot of stars that involved. But when we see a movie, how do we see it? We don't see as an actor acting it, right? So let's say Peta came. I'm a big fan of Superstar. Peta came, we all enjoyed. When Anartha came, we all criticized. So we never evaluated his performance based on what he is, what stature he is. It is about what his performance is on that particular movie. Why I'm saying this is the same phenomenon. I feel movie review and evaluation are a bit similar. When you are looking at a movie and you are doing a review, first thing is, like sir said, you will enjoy the movie. But at the same time, you will evaluate based on that movie only. Similarly, when you are on an evaluator shoe, evaluate the speaker. So evaluate the speech, not the speaker. Imagine if someone comes and says, distinguished Toastmaster Sai is the speaker. Immediately, one thing that strikes in the mind, oh, he is distinguished. He must be a great speaker only. Right? So you will start noting all the commendations. And for recommendations, you will have only minimal. But maybe on that particular day, I did not deliver a very good speech. So what happens is, we are kind of biased. So first thing that we need to keep in mind is, evaluate the speech and not the speaker. In my introduction, sir told that I was a district finalist in evaluation contest. When I was in area contest, firstly, how many of you know what kind of contests are there in Toastmasters? Let me start from there. Anyone here who's new to Toastmasters contest? Oh, many of them. Okay, for the benefit of all the people who don't know, I'll quickly summarize. Like how in schools and colleges we have a format of examination, right? Why do we have examination? We are taught something and you need a stage to show how much you have learned. So that's where assessments come. So how here you are here to improve your communication, and you need to experiment your communication skills. So how do you establish that you are a good communicator? That's where contest comes. So the first half of the year, which is July to December, you have two contests, which is humorous speech contest and evaluation contest. And the second half of the year, which is Jan to June, I'm talking in Toastmasters here, you'll have international speech contest and table topics contest. And all this have different varieties. I'm not touching base on all the contests, but I'm just specifically concentrating on evaluation contest. So how an evaluation contest happens is there will be one speaker who will deliver a speech to all the contestants, and all the contestants will be asked to evaluate for the same speech. It will be in a row. Like let's say there are 5 contestants, so first contestant will come and give, and 2, 3, 4, 5 follows after that. So this is the format. When I was in area contest, my target speaker who delivered speech was the one who was taking video now. She was there as the target speaker. I knew Tejasvi well before. I know how prolific a speaker she is. But on that particular day, I never knew that she is the speaker. And at that moment, when I was in the contest stage, the first thing that I remembered myself is evaluate her speech and don't get carried on with her stature of how she has been before. First thing is evaluate the speech, not the speaker. Right? So now, imagine you are a contestant. You are there, whether you're in a club contest you are there or in a district contest you are there. When you're sitting there, when the target speaker is delivering a speech, what do you do? Just imagine. I know a lot of people raised hands that they have not witnessed. You've seen Tejasvi evaluating the speech today, right? So if you were an evaluator, what you would have done when the sir was giving speech? Quickly.
Take notes.
Note it down. What else?
Enjoy the speech.
Enjoy the speech. Beautiful. When I was an amateur evaluator, I was like this typical school student. I was a first bencher. For your information, whenever I sit in the first bench, teacher tells 10 words, all 10 words will be in my script. That's how it will be. So initially when I was an amateur evaluator, I started writing everything that the speaker told. But that is not necessary. First thing, when you're listening to a speech, like Tejasvi said, enjoy the speech. Don't have the pressure that you have to evaluate. When you're evaluating a movie, you're not in the pressure. Right? You just go and talk to your friend saying, hey, this movie is so good, Gilly is so nice. Movie is not at all a good movie. When you say these kind of things, you're naturally telling it from the bottom of your heart. So the first thing, when you are listening to the speech on that particular day during contest, ensure that you're enjoying the speech and listening. How many of you here are married? I know you said you want to stay out of your family, and that's why you're coming here. Sir, imagine on Sunday also you have a Toastmasters event. Will you come?
Yeah.
Why not? Okay, beautiful. Now, just imagine the scenario. He is here to attend emerging leaders meeting. Tomorrow there is a special event in Toastmasters where he is also there. And 3-4 months later, his wife comes and asks, you're married, Richard? Okay. So his wife comes and asks, let us go for a trip or something, or let's go for shopping. He agrees, but then he forgets. What will she do, sir?
What she'll do,
If I suppose you missed, you give a commitment to her and you did not satisfy that, so what will you do?
The natural tendency of avoid what she does in that case is shout.
And when she's shouting, right, what she does is, she'll not shout only for that occasion, right? Like she'll say, 4 months back, you went 2 days to Toastmasters. One day you got events for you. The reason why I'm saying this is, these are life skills, right? People remember, okay? They listen, they observe. That's the same skill an evaluator should have. When you're looking at the speech, ensure that you're listening clearly. You're enjoying the speech at the same time, listen and observe what the speaker is trying to say. When I listened to today's speaker's speech, I knew that I'm already taken into a travel to Trivandamai, to a probably mutt. I don't know who the Guruji is, but I can visualize the Guruji. So that is how you have to get engrossed, listen to what he has said and what jnana he has given out of his speech. So when you start writing, enjoy and start listening and then write it down. And now when you're listening to it, how are you going to prepare notes for your evaluation? So I listen to 7 minute speech, like a movie, I don't know how to evaluate. I can't say, cinema, I might not be, a good movie critic. I can't say screenplay is bad. I can't say music is good unless and until I know some knowledge about it, right? But there are certain aspects which you already know, whether it had an impact, the movie had an impact on you, whether the humor worked or not. These are things which you can. Okay, for a lot of people here, they think the international speech contest and the humorous speech contest, these two are the contests which are well prepared ahead. Because it's a speech, 5 to 7 minute speech where you prepare well before. And they always say, table topics and evaluation contest is impromptu because you never know what the speaker is speaking on that particular day. So how can you prepare? You can't prepare. So they always say it's impromptu. I would say, no, it's not impromptu. You still have to prepare. How you have to prepare? If you are good enough to find the target speaker, go and write the table on the screen. But if you don't know those ways, how you can prepare is, there are certain aspects which you will be keen on noting down for each speech. For instance, when I listen to the speech, first thing I look at it is how it is relatable to me. Whether is it too, like he said in Gilly, so certain things are unrealistic. Is there any component that is unrealistic to me? Is there a humor that is very much relatable to me and I'm able to follow through? I'm standing here and suddenly talking about, I'm a space engineer, sin theta by cos theta is equal to tan theta if I tell you, audience may not know. So that's where relatability comes into picture. So prepare yourself well ahead. What all things are you going to look of any speaker that is going to deliver a speech on that particular day? Okay, so now, what all things you can prepare well ahead and what all things you can observe is something that I'll give you some tips. When you are an evaluator, when you're listening to a speech, ensure there are two categories that you have to follow while observing. The first thing is to evaluate the speech based on content. The second thing is based on delivery. Okay? Tell me some movies where, the story is so nice, but the execution is not good. Any movies that comes on top of your mind? I have many movies. No movies, huh? Only Gen Z kid. Okay. And any other movies? There's a movie called Kalki. Sorry, I didn't see. Okay, probably I'll get updated. Okay. One such movie, I personally love the story, but execution I feel it was not act is Yeramarilu. The story is so nice, it had grip, it had so much emotions, but I think it could have taken a bit further, right? So that is where story is good, but execution is not good. Now the reverse. Execution is good, but story is not good. Any movies like that?
Leo.
I can see from her reaction how much expectation she had and how much disappointment she came out with. You was first day for sure. Second day for sure. Okay.
College and all for that.
Okay. So, Leo is one movie. Any other movies where execution is so good, but there is no story at all? Ryan. Okay.
Let's see.
So, for me, there is I don't know how many of you are 90s kids here. If I don't know if you know this movie or not. Okay, there is a movie called Ullate Alita. It has so good humor. I enjoy the movie, but there's no story at all. Why this scene is happening? Why this scene is happening? I don't know that at all. Okay, so why we are saying this is this movie is also appreciated. This movie is also appreciated, but as a critic, we are able to differentiate it, right? So as an evaluator, it's your duty to evaluate in both terms. When Sir came and delivered his speech, his content speaks what he is trying to speak, and his delivery speaks how he is representing it. And as an evaluator, it's your duty to give recommendations on both. So when you are looking at it, look at how verbally the speaker is good on the stage, how non-verbally. Okay, so when I say verbal gestures or content related, what are things you will observe in the content? Anything? Let's take your speech itself. Sorry, sir, I forgot your name. Vasant, okay. Today, Toastmaster Vasant delivered the speech, right? So let's pick up certain good things that happen in his content. Anything? If you listen to Tejasvi's evaluation, you will get some cheat sheets.
The intro hook about asking about having
Okay, have you met a Guruji? Okay. Anything else that you can think from the content? Yes.
Wordplay was good.
Wordplay was good. Okay. And for me, when I was sitting as an audience, the way he brought the humor from Nityananda. Okay, I think if I am speaking here about Nityananda, no one would have laughed, but people laughed. So that tells how his content has brought it. The way he's written, the wordplays all gave him that added advantage. So this is something in content. Let's talk about delivery. Like from his delivery perspective, what do you feel was something that you liked in this?
The vocal variety between both those.
Both those.
Yeah, Guruji and.
So imagine when he's written the script, he would have already written, okay, this is the dialogue I have to speak for myself. This is the dialogue for the Guruji. And when he delivered it, he had different voices for both, right? So that is delivery. In script you will not see it, but in delivery you will notice it. So when Tejasvi delivered her evaluation, she had a mix of both. So as an evaluator, ensure that you are making good. And for verbally, what all you can note down is, I'll just give certain tips, so some tips which you can do with respect to content. First thing is how well it is articulated. Sometimes there will be a transition gap. Okay, so imagine I'm suddenly saying I'm going on a travel, and suddenly I'm in a hotel room, and all of a sudden I'm jumping towards another country. There is no link between one incident to the other. So that talks about the transition. So transition is one thing which you can focus on looking at in your content. And apart from that, when people said wordplay, when you have strong introduction, you have relatability, all this talks about content. When it comes to delivery, it is all about how they have represented that. So your eye contact, your body language, the way you express yourself, the way you have your characters placed in both the sides. So your stage movements across the stage area, all these are non-verbal gestures. Okay, so these things when you're listening to the as an evaluator, when you're listening to the speaker, ensure that you have these parameters well prepared beforehand, and for these parameters, all you need to do is whether they have satisfied it or not. Did they have proper eye contact? Yes. Was their content relatable? Yes. So these are things when you're already prepared, when you're listening to the speaker, it becomes easier for you to note down what things are good, what things can be improved. Okay, so this is when the speaker is speaking that you will be preparing. So now comes a question, sir. I listened to the speech. There are some speeches which is extraordinary. I did not find, like sir said, I never found any negative points in Avai Shanmugi movie. You might find a few things about the speaker also extraordinary, or sometimes speakers will be so mediocre. You will find a lot of improvements, and you will have very less commendations. So in that case, how many commendations should I say? How many recommendations should I say? And how should I say it? Right, so this is another thing. You are noting down everything, you are listening to the speaker, you are noting down how you are now representing, because you are also a speaker on the stage, right? So you are preparing the content and you have to deliver it. So first thing, once you have written all of this, ensure that for an evaluation contest, you have at least 2 commendations, maximum of 3 commendations or recommendations also. It is either 2 plus 2, or 2 plus 3, or 3 plus 2, 3 plus 3. Minimum of 2, maximum of 3 in both the cases. Because again, the time allotted for evaluation contest is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes you will have the green card, and 3 minutes red card comes up. So within the 3 minutes, you have to create an impact as an evaluator. I just go and say, I love Gilly movie, and I continuously say, Appadi Board was song, it was so good, and I'm also dancing superbly, the comedy worked out so well. If I speak this for 5 minutes, I'm already disqualified. Right? So you need to know how much you have to talk and what all things you have to talk. So if I have 5 positives about it, which 3 positives I can highlight and tell that appeal to me, and those 3 things should also be distinctive. Why I say distinctive is, I'm a contestant, and along with me there will be fellow contestant also. I'm saying humor worked out so beautifully. If I say humor worked out so beautifully, and the other person also says it, you're not distinctive. So nobody remembers that, okay, it is only Toastmaster Sai or Toastmaster Tejasvi or distinguished Toastmaster Ashok who told about this humor. When everyone talks, it becomes saturated. So ensure that the point that you are trying to say is very unique. How you can say unique, for example, like today in evaluation, Toastmaster Tejasvi told one recommendation be eye contact. So she said she never told, you never had a proper eye contact and you should have proper eye contact in future. That's not the way she has put it up. Right? How she told this, you never looked into the eyes of the audience. When you're not looking into the eyes of the audience, you will not be able to persuade your idea. So these are ways where people remember, even if you are able to say the simple things, how they can remember is with how you rephrase and word it. So that's something you can keep in mind and ensure that you have minimum of 2, maximum of 3, and as I said, when you're saying 2 commendations or 3 commendations, ensure that it is a mix of both verbal as well as non-verbal. It should have commendations about your delivery, it should also have about content. And similarly for recommendations also, delivery as well as content. Any questions until here? I spoke a lot, so any questions?
We need to summarize.
No.
Like, if we have more recommendations, I mean, if you have equal number of recommendations on both body language and content, which will you prioritize? Like, giving in body language or giving on the content?
Okay, that's where I was about to head next. As an evaluator, we think we are evaluating the speaker just like that. Thanks so much for setting the context, Tejasvi. When today Tejasvi evaluated our Toastmaster Vasan, right? And tomorrow, why Toastmaster Vasan has to listen to Tejasvi? Because from his next speech, he has to implement certain improvement areas what Tejasvi has given as an evaluator, correct? So ensure that the evaluation comments that you're saying is something that the speaker can immediately implement in the upcoming speeches. I come and suddenly say your humor did not work at all. You should work on humor. It is immediately the very next week he'll not come with humor script. So tell certain things. What can be improved immediately? See, you never had a proper eye contact. So look into the audience, smile and do it. So that's something, that's how you have to say. So when you have so many recommendations, how you can filter that out is which immediately impacts the speaker and will be able to influence the speaker to implement that in the further speeches. That is how I usually prioritize, and I've seen a lot of people telling me that this has worked also. So I think that's a way we can focus on. I'll put a red card on the chart. Okay. I'll just give me 5 more minutes. I'll quickly add 2 more things. So this is how you will write. So 2 to 3 you've already written, correct? Now I'm on the stage, and when I'm about to deliver, how do I know? Because like today, I'm an education speaker. I never know the time. There is a timer who's telling me. I prepare that okay, within this time I have to tell, but it exceeded. So on that particular day also, as an evaluation contestant, you think you spoke for only 1 minute, but 2 minutes green card would be already up. So how I would say to prepare is, ensure that you are preparing, first of all, once you've written all the points, prepare it like a speech. It should have, like a proper speech has a proper introduction, it has a body, it has a conclusion, correct? Same way, ensure that you start, like today if you see Toastmaster Tejasvi, she did not come and say your speech is good, I'm an evaluator, I'll start my evaluation. No, she said, Toastmaster Vasan, you not only had the wisdom from your Guruji, you gave the wisdom to us. So that is something you had a proper introduction set up before. And the best way to set up that introduction is to relate to the speaker what they have spoken. Like how today brilliantly Tejasvi did. She took the lines from the speaker, started with that introduction, and then carried on her evaluation. And finally, if you see, she not just left there, she summarized what she said also. And from an evaluation point of view, summarization is very important. Because from a ballot point of view, summarization holds 15 points out of 100. Okay, I'm not going too much into ballot because a lot of people are new. But summarizing is something very important because even for a speaker, when they're not listening to the summary, they'll not know. You said so many things. What is recommendation? I don't know. So only when you summarize, you'll be able to recollect all that. Okay, so ensure you summarize also. Okay. Now, final thing when you're on the stage, when it comes to timing, ensure that within 1 minute 30 seconds you have to finish your commendations. This is a way how you can split your script, right? So when you are already preparing a 5 to 7 minute speech, at this minute I should complete this content, correct? So similar way, ensure that at 1 minute 30 seconds, have it in mind that your commendation should complete. The next 1.5 minutes comes for your recommendation and summary. Okay, so this split up will help you to easily come with a chronological order and ensure that you create an impact to the speaker as well as to the judges who were there on the evaluation contest. And last but not the least, before I leave the stage, when you are here as a contestant, I've been in contest stage for many times. And every time I step onto the stage, there's still the situation where building strong basement weak. Okay, no matter how many times I have contested, every time I'm on the contest stage, I feel that. It is the same with all the fellow human beings whom I interacted with also when they're on the contest stage. But ensure it is not well shown off because you are there to perform. You are not there to just deliver an evaluation report. You are there to perform. You are a contestant to perform. So enjoy, smile. It's a stage you earned. Right? So be there with all the hard work that you have prepared before and with what you observed. Go there, enjoy yourself. Results, we obviously want to get results in our favor, but if sometimes it doesn't come out, it's okay. It's a learning experience. We all mature through experiences. So that's all I had. I hope I'll still be here after the session. If I can take 1 or 2 sessions,
Yes,
we have time.
yes, we have time.
If we have time, then we'll take for 2-3 questions if you have. I'll be more than happy. Yes.
I have one question. I attended long back the evaluation contest. What happens is every evaluator has given the same recommendation at the end that please take care of the stage presence and your eye contact. So since every evaluator is giving the same feedback, is it good for as a contestant? I can also give the same feedback. Be imperative for the judges to see the same feedback from my end also. Maybe I should avoid that thing. The eye contact and stage presence are part of it.
You being the speaker or you being the contestant?
Evaluate.
Okay.
But we won't know like.
First of all, as a contestant, you will not know what the other evaluator spoke. Because if I am being, then the 8th evaluator gives the advantage. When someone comes and cracks some joke during an evaluation contest, it did not work. The other person knows, okay, joke, no one is laughing here. I'm not going to crack any joke.
You know, the same question, I would like to, people say, normally say,
Because generally
do not say the obvious things, you know, people will always say, people will note down, and if you have 10 contestants, 8 persons will speak the obvious. People will know he did not have eye contact, he did not have voice modulator. These two will be recommended. So when we go on stage, we should not state what is obvious. State something which is not so obvious and is a little tricky.
But does it go against it? Because they won't think, can't even know the obviously that this guy doesn't have eye contact.
No, with what we have seen, with my experience, I also had the same question, asked so many times to a lot of experienced Toastmasters. Everyone told, when you're on a contest stage, right, see, our perspectives are different. One person says, I love Ponniyin Selvan movie. Other person says, Ponniyin Selvan is worst movie. So our perception differs. We can't say one is right, one is wrong. Same way, if one evaluator comes and evaluates one thing, judges will not see whether your point is correct or not. They'll see how you're able to persuade that to the speaker and to the audience. If I say your body language is not good, am I able to justify that to the speaker and to the audience? If I say it is good, am I able to justify? That's what judges see about it. So when you are not stating even the obvious points, if you are able to show that the other points are something that I can easily convince, you stand a chance to win any day. And like Mathur sir said, that's where I said, right, when you're prioritizing, when you have so many points, you pick up the points which stands distinctive, the non-obvious points, which you think not many would have, told in their evaluation. Of course, we don't know because we are not that guru who can get that answer. But that's something we can do. Any other questions?
You know, as an audience, when you listen to 10 evaluations, you tend to get confused sometimes as an audience. Though you might be enjoying something. One person will say, yes, voice modulation was excellent. The other evaluator said it was not so good, it needs improvement and so on. But having listened to the target speaker and having listened to all these things, you tend to get a little confused also. Yes.
Actually, this reminds of one of my fellow Toastmaster friends, Toastmaster Abid, a very good friend of me. He was once a target speaker for a contest. There were 10 evaluation contestants. He was there as a budding Toastmaster in 2019, I think so. He was delivering his speech, listening, okay, what all things are good, what all things I have to improve. He was waiting. As a speaker, target speaker, he wants to know that. He was waiting to note down. 5 people told commendations, recommendations, whatever these 5 people told commendations, they told this as recommendation, the other 5. And whatever commendations these people told, they told recommendation. He is there sitting, am I good or not? Am I here for a reason or not? So everything got neutralized. So it's neither negative nor positive. So sometimes, even for a speaker, sir, it becomes difficult to comprehend. So what I always tell people is, when you are from a speaker's point of view, you know how you design the speech. Be open to listen to all the commendations and recommendations, and if recommendation is suitable to you, you adapt it. If they are not, it may not be a strength. If someone comes and says, Sai, you include humor, I am not a humorous person. Okay, so if someone comes and says include that, I try to do it, but it may not work every time. Correct? So on the contrary, if someone goes and tells this to Adil, right, he will give 7 minutes stand-up comedy only, because he's such a capable person of doing that. So whenever, even for an audience when they're listening to a speech, you will have your own perception of the speech, whether you like movie only. That's why I related to movie. No matter how much people told Leo is not good, some people say it is very close to my heart, it is worth the money, first day for sure you go. So it is all about our perception at the end of the day.
Just to add to the same thing, do we need to take into account the audience reaction? So for something which you might think as a mocker joke, but audience burst out into laughter. So then there is a little bias whether am I wrong or the audience are correct. So do we have to, deliver our own perception, or how is it?
First of all, I should say we have so intelligent audience. Whenever I go to education session on evaluation, such questions don't come. But I'm happy, these questions are coming up. Yes, like you said, sometimes I felt, why are people laughing for this? Sometimes I will laugh and no one is laughing. What happened? You never had your breakfast or what? Sometimes I felt like that. But I would say, how judges are trained to evaluate that is based on what appeals to them. It is very subjective. As a judge, for me, whether this evaluation is good or not, whether this speech is good or not. And when you are an evaluator, if that has worked for you, you tell it. Other people, even the other 9 contestants would have felt, humor illa. How can he say humor is good? It's okay. This is your perspective. And no one says you are wrong. Again, I said, it is all subjective, end of the day. As long as you are able to convince.
People normally go with a templated version. They say this is opening, this is the body, this is the conclusion, there is metaphor, there is simile, and then something on voice modulation, your high pitch, low pitch, all this, they have it in their mind and they fill it up. And then they go on stage and read it. So when the judges look at it, you would have covered all the points that are there in the ballot. But still, when you listen to that thing, it is a draft. It is not an interesting evaluation at all. But you have fulfilled all the aspects that are there in the ballot, and therefore the judges are bound to give you more marks. But evaluation as such is not enjoyable for an audience.
Exactly, sir. That's how, humans are different from ChatGPT. Right? ChatGPT can give speech, but you are the one who's going to write and tell it. So if you take the script from ChatGPT and you tell, it won't come from bottom of your heart. Only when you write it and you tell it, he was able to tell that with conviction because he has lived through that. Right, so he is born and brought up in Thiruvannamalai. He was there.
He's laughing.
And then he said, I'm coming to Toastmasters because I want to get out of my house during weekends. He meant it, right? So this is not scripted. If ChatGPT comes and tells this, he will not be able to tell. So yeah, I agree to that, Mathur sir. Okay, since we are already past time.
One more thing.
Yes, Mathur.
Is it advisable to use acronyms? I find in most of the contests, people use acronyms. They pick up one word from their speech. Use that as an acronym, expand it, and then deliver. Is it a good technique?
Actually, in contest, techniques add so much value. But the technique should be something very relevant. For example, if you see, I'm a big fan of this Chandramukhi movie. Anyone here who likes Chandramukhi? But even though I like Chandramukhi, there is one part which I feel, why is this there in the movie? Which is a snake. The snake, why it doesn't exist? No one knows. So same way, when someone is giving an evaluation using an acronym, it should relate to the speech. If that is not relatable, their actual basement is gone. So like you said, sir, when I was evaluating her speech was about a teddy bear. Okay, so she had a teddy bear. So if I make out an acronym based out of teddy, which is having some grip in that, or in his thing, guru, that guru has significance. So if I'm able to come with an acronym supported to that guru or something that is very close to his script, that will add so much value. If that is not there, but acronyms do add value. And it more than that, for a contestant, it helps you to remember also. Because when you say GU or U, okay, G for this, U for this, you will remember it very easily when you're delivering on the stage. So acronyms do help, but you have to ensure that it is very aligned to the speaker's speech.
Do people talk about grammatical or a better phrasing? Does it add value or it's just a show off?
No, grammatically, I would say for a contest stage, it's better not to comment on grammar because we are all here to learn, right? When I'm here standing here delivering an education speech, of course I had a lot of filler words, I make grammatical errors irrespective of being a long-standing Toastmaster. So this happens, and sometimes grammatical error happens not because we are weak in grammar, because as I said, building strong, basement weak. Because of that, whatever comes from your mouth, you don't know. You don't have control over it. So at that point in time, when on a contest stage, what people want to listen from you is how you have listened through the script and what all points you can take. If suddenly you go and say grammatically these are things you can improve, that is very obvious. Like Mathur sir said, let's try looking at things which are much more focused through the script, focused through the delivery. I think that will help even the speaker, and it will help you also, as an evaluator, how you can observe in different dimensions. Okay. And I know I spoke a lot. Timer has stopped showing me cards also. Okay, with that, I'll be here. If you have any other questions, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure coming here for the second time, and over to you, Mr.